Hi everyone, good evening. I hope you're all doing great. I know I disappeared for a tiny bit. It's because I was cold as well as half of the population in Iceland. I thought I would not get this cold, but I did. Everything's fine now. Did you know that the month that's entering now, we are welcoming the month of Adar? And this month of Adar is the month of joy, the month of strength, it's the month of success and good fortune. Here in Iceland, we just had the Oskudagur, and in Judaism, we are going to celebrate Purim, which is similar. It's when we all celebrate happiness. So it's a happy month. Children get wear costumes. We exchange letters, food, meal, dessert, whatever. We just give each other something pleasant. We offer people a fun and amusing moment. So this is a very happy time of the year, and it's also the season when we renovate our strength, when we renovate our vows. If you are aiming to start a new project, if you want to do something new, if you're developing business, if you are starting a relationship, whatever you're doing, this is the season that you are most likely to succeed. So, just write it down. And also, we always remember of Queen Esther. Why, Renata? We remember or we think of Queen Esther because that was the season, that was the time when Purim starts. This is why we celebrate this month, exactly during the season, the festival of Purim, because all the Israelites that were smaller in numbers, but they were stronger in faith, they won the fight, the battle against the whole empire that wanted to defeat them. And the interesting thing behind this story is that many people started converting because they couldn't resist the light, the force, and the emunah, the faith those people had. So I'm gonna quickly tell you this story because it's one of my favorite in the book of Tanakh. Before Queen Esther became queen, there was a queen called Vashti, and she was banished because she refused to show her beauty when the king, Ahasuerus, invited her to be seen in front of everyone in the feast. So she said, no, I won't. And that was something really not nice of her back then, because if you would do something like this in front of the society, you would also engage other women to do the same, to misbehave. So the king decided that she was going to be banished. And there was 12 months of preparation to find the queen. One of the explanations why she refused to show up in the feast is because she was supposed to be naked. That's not proven, we don't know, and that's not the point of this conversation. The point is that after 12 months, all the candidates to be the queen that was going to replace Vashti were having baths of oil and all kinds of special treatment and After 12 months, they were presented to the king, and when the king saw Esther, he fell in love with her beauty. But there was a problem. Even though he chose her because he fell in love, what was the problem, Renata? Esther was orphan. She was in Persia. She was not in her home country. Her people were few. She was taken care by her friend, her uncle, and she had only one wish to ask to the king in order to save her people from this situation, this mass extermination, because of the jealousy of Haman, that back then was the right hand of the king. So the king asked her what she wanted, and even half of the kingdom would be given to her. And she asked that Haman could be invited for the feast. What was the problem, Renata? Esther was orphan. She was in Persia. She was not in her home country. Her people were few. She was taken care by her friend, her uncle, and she had only one wish to ask to the king in order to save her people from this situation, this mass extermination, because of the jealousy of Haman, that back then was the right hand of the king. So the king asked her what she wanted, and even half of the kingdom would be given to her. And she asked that Haman could be invited for the feast. The only thing that Haman was not counting on is that Esther was Jewish, Esther was chosen, Esther was clever, and Esther decided to fast and invited the whole population to fast with her. And there is this famous quote from Esther that says, so she says, "Go and gather all of you, neither eat or drink for 3 or 4 days, night and day." So these days they were not eating, they were not drinking, and they were fasting. They were praising the Lord and praying for her. Then she said she should present herself to the king, and ask something that maybe it was against the law. And if I perish, I perish. She was so courageous. She was so strong. And everybody did as she said for them to do. When she came to the king and he asked her what she wanted, even the half of the kingdom would be given to her. The trap that Haman did for her uncle, she asked him to protect. She asked the king to protect her people, her nation, and that Haman. So Esther was favored. Her friend, they became the king later on, and they celebrate until nowadays Purim, in order to remember that the opponents did not prevail over the Israelites, the people of the Jewish nation. And it's a beautiful love story. And the reason why I like this story very, very much is because nothing, and I mean it, nothing can defeat or fight the God Almighty. Nothing. So that preparation before the feast, fasting, worshiping, and having this strong faith, because obviously they would not do that if they would think she wouldn't succeed. But Esther said, if I perish, I perish, but I will not stop trying. And this is the message I want to leave to you guys tonight. Don't stop trying. Don't even think about it. Never ever.